Hello, beautiful ones. This is Christina, and welcome to my channel, The Intuitive, or My Intuitive Sense, and My 2 cents. I hope you're all doing well. All right, so as you saw by my thumbnail, this is going to be on the most trending topic and event in the world today. Well, no, probably not the top, but it's pretty up there. And that is on the person known as Sean Combs, Diddy, Puffy, whatever, all kinds of other names that people are calling him right now based on his actions in his lifetime, his choices. And I want to say that I have put off this one for a while. I could have done a reading a lot sooner, following kind of on the trend, even though he's just constantly trending. Because I've had other requests and suggestions on doing readings. So I actually have a list. So I could probably do another 10 videos. But I woke up today and I'm going to say that it was sort of based in a little bit of a dream and just a feeling that just do it. Even though yesterday I was saying to my roommate that I feel like I would be not able to do a reading that was not biased due to the fact that there are so many people who have been harmed by him, involved with him, controlled by him, that are sharing their stories, and they are horrific. They're hard to listen to. You know, I am pretty good at staying detached to some degree because it's not my experience and I don't need to take it on. But I can have empathy and compassion for them. And from a soul level, which is where I really operate from the highest level. And I have to honor them and say, wow, what a soul journey you chose to experience. Everything's co-created. But then from this level, on a human level, in a sense, it's hard to listen to that. It's hard to imagine. You know, maybe all of us have had some type of abuse in our life, some of it very, very minor. And you work through it and, it doesn't affect the rest of your life. But then there are many who is on the opposite spectrum that have endured horrendous experiences, things that you can't even imagine, things that fracture the psyche, which create alters or other personalities, and you just don't live a healthy and happy life. Wholeness is not there. And, you either, go through life very unhappy and in pain, or you have the courage to do the deep inner work and heal that. Now, Diddy, obviously, from my perspective, is also someone that has experienced deep pain, horrendous experiences as a child. And on a soul level, this is what he chose. And that's how he lived out his life, and all the characters in his life co-created with him, and that this is very esoteric and metaphysical, which is most of the time where I'm going to be coming from. But I also want to come from this level so that people who don't understand this, may tune into my video. There is another perspective on this. There's a different way to interpret it. So I don't want to be biased because of what I've heard or seen or know of him. I want to come from the respect of or the perspective of well, he's still a soul. He's still a divine being. on the highest level, and that nothing really happens without divine being part of it. But I also have to acknowledge that on this level, he's operating from darkness. He's operating from invasion, meaning that he has one or more entities within him that he is merged with. And this is a soul choice, just like on a soul level, he can change this. But this is what his role is right now. A lot of it may be karma. A lot of it may be soul contracts with others. On the highest level, I see it as being a proxy for unveiling the world that he's lived in and many people that have lived in, participated in. Are part of, at this time on the planet, helping to unveil the dark secrets, the hidden world, the very I don't even know what the word is to say, because it takes you to a place where people cannot comprehend that such things are done. I could say the atrocities, the horror, just the abuse, the satanic abuse. This is a world that most of humanity is not aware of. And their minds and their beings cannot comprehend what that is. And the harm that it has caused to another, which is really doing harm to self. But they don't understand it. And there's many that are aware, and that's great. So Diddy and many people on the highest level, in my perspective, but also from my spiritual understanding, is that this is the role they're playing. So it's hard for me when I understand this to condemn them. Yet when I listen to his so-called victims, or the people that have been traumatized from their experiences with him, it's not that easy, especially because so many of them were children. And one has to move beyond this and see the bigger picture. So it's not easy for me to do this intuitive reading. I wanted to do others before that, but I woke up today. Maybe I had a type of dream that kind of led me to this. I'm not even awake yet. So it's like, why do I need to do this? I'm recording this now. And I may edit it later, or I may just leave it as it is, raw and whatever, and not even edit it. Because it's what I feel right now. I feel like I have to do this intuitive reading. Yes, I'm going to put my 2 cents in, as well. But it may be a whole different type of reading that I thought I was going to do. I don't want to get too carried away, but he's a proxy, meaning that he is playing a role that is needed for cosmic change. And, sooner or later, some of the other players that have participated with him on a similar level, or maybe even a higher level, those that we don't talk about, those that are still very hidden, those will be revealed. It's just going to be a domino effect. Once people allow it, it's the collective have to allow this to be unveiled. Now, Diddy, Sean Combs, is struggling. I feel he's struggling. I feel that he is desperate. And when you're desperate, you'll do whatever you think may save you, may work. I feel like he's still doing some conjuring. It's another reason why you have to be discerning and not just jump on this Diddy train, because he does practice the dark arts. Not just worry about him, sending somebody after you, whether you're one of his past victims, current victims, or people that work with him, or people that are snitching on him, people who are, telling their story, and be physically afraid. No, you need to be energetically concerned. And I don't want to create fear here, because I don't have any fear of this. I have powerful tools that I work with of protection, of clearing, but I also trust in the divine, in the infinite being, in the creator, God, however you want to call it. I trust in that. And if I'm guided to do something, then I know that I'm walking in integrity and I have protection. I'm always protected in that way. If something occurs, I know how to remedy it. And that will be my course of action. So if for some reason I put this out there and it actually gets to a lot of people, and if it's some by chance it gets all the way to Diddy, or someone in his camp and saying, oh, she's saying this about you, and he decides he wants to, do some magic towards me, that's okay. I know how to deal with it. But most of the people that have been in his world do not, unless they're operating in the same dark magic. They're playing the same games. And this is what he's trying to do right now. He's not only trying to intimidate people to not speak out. And you see, the more he resists, the more things are amplified. Meaning, from my view, more and more people are going to start speaking out. And as long as he is still in jail, in a somewhat confinement, because it doesn't really matter that he's in a physical jail, because when you're practicing dark magic, it doesn't matter. Any type of magic, whether it's white magic, which is what I work with, or dark magic, it doesn't matter where you are. It's the intention, and it's the energy and the frequencies that you send out, because there's no time and space for any of this. So it doesn't matter that he's, in a small confined space. He just can't physically go out himself personally and harm anybody. But he can send other people, and he's doing that to certain degrees. But I believe that is being diminished. Little by little by little, I feel that's being diminished. So his strength is decreasing. Because in the bigger picture, more and more people are waking up. More and more people are seeing the light, feeling the light. The light has been becoming stronger for a long time now. The consciousness is elevating. He will not be able to function in this. But he's not going down without a fight, because that's who he is. He came into this world, he experienced things from a child, that he became a fighter and a survivor. And he has a lot of creativity in him. I'm not going to deny, even though I wasn't in much of that. I wasn't very drawn to that type of music here and there. So he has the creativity. You can't deny that. We all have it. He just took it to another area of experience. What I hope happens, this is what I hope happens. I feel it, but I don't know because I am not in control of that. But my hope is that he is awakened to the higher aspect of him so that he is able to release that which controls him, which is, for me, I feel not only one entity. I feel several. And I prefer not to tune into them to any great extent. I will just say that he has several. Because he's merged with him. He's done enough ritual, enough magic, black magic, to have not just entities attached to, say, his etheric bodies, but allowed to merge. And that's where he operates from. And that's all he knows right now. But he's not beyond having I'm going to say, a God moment, a source moment that steps in and shines the light just on him to say, okay, we're done with this role. And when that happens, it's going to ripple through. It is going to ripple. Anybody who wakes up to who they really are elevates life. And he has enough people that have walked that path with him. If they also did this, there would be a great shift. So, at least in the world of the external world that so many people are focused on, so many people are obsessed on, so many people give all their energy to: entertainment, politics, sports. This is the external world. We have to come back home to ourselves and live our highest potential, not our darkest potential, though it serves a purpose. It truly does. It serves a purpose. So that you eventually can see the light. And that's a famous line that people use a lot. But it is true. It is true. So I don't really want to do an intuitive reading to bash him, to talk about all the horrible things that he's done. I could say, okay, he is struggling. He is trying to survive. Actually, the entities within him are trying to survive. But the infinite being is really the one that ultimately makes the decision as to whether or not these beings attached within him must be dissolved. They must be, banished. Will that happen anytime soon? No. No. He's going to fight the good fight. He's going to do his best to survive and continue. But that's okay, because there are enough around him. There are enough who are in his world, whether by choice or by, abduction, because believe me, he has participated in that world greatly, along with many others who some will be revealed very soon. And some of the other people I will do that I feel that will come about will be maybe some of the readings I'll do in the future soon. So I actually feel that it's more about those who have experienced very traumatic journeys with him that are going to bring this more to light. And that will diminish his darkness. That's how I see it playing out more, instead of him, Diddy coming and saying, "Oh my gosh, he's chosen to now awaken, and he's going to transcend the darkness and reveal his true self." No, I do not see that. My being does not see that happening anytime soon. It's not to say, if he's still here on the planet, if he isn't in some way taken out or released, or, the soul leaves the body, then permanently, I don't see him choosing that anytime soon. But it could happen. Anything can shift in a moment. I see the ones that have the extended realm of people that have been involved. I see them being the ones that are going to help to shift this. And they must do it for themselves, firstly. And so I can only send them love and compassion and healing if I'm so directed. And I would like to put that out there, that anyone that may be tuning into this who has been one of those people that have been traumatized from your experience in the Diddy world, I offer the opportunity to do some very deep healing with me, and you can contact me separately for that. I do work with very powerful tools, healing modalities that can assist you on the journey when you're ready. But firstly, speaking your truth and not being afraid. Do not be afraid of Diddy. Do not be afraid of anybody else, because you have the power. You do. You always did. And now it's time to remember that. Now is time to trust in that. Enough people are waking up. There's enough people to support you if you need that. There's enough people that are willing to assist you if you ask. So, this is more of a intuitive perspective on the situation and how I see Diddy's world, and what I don't like saying Diddy's world, but he did create his own world. He created his world, and he brought in thousands of different people. And then those people, first of all, they also brought him into their world, of course. But he operates in different worlds, not just on the physical level. And that's more where people have to be more conscious of. And most people don't even have awareness of that, unless you're, practicing any type of magic. will you have those senses? So this is where I'm really coming from on this. It might sound a little bit disjointed in that, but it's not an easy thing to just do a simple intuitive reading. It really isn't, because it's multi-leveled and it can change constantly, and you have a lot of different aspects of things involved in it. It's just not a bad man who, raped people, trafficked them, or, did it. No, or treated them badly, or stole their money, or stole their creativity. No, it's on other levels that have been in place and in all areas of life for thousands of years. And this is why it takes time for it to unravel, to be revealed. It takes time. But things are accelerating, so, it could be a little quicker than we think. I don't really know. I go day by day to see what life is showing today. And really, Diddy and everybody else, that's all you really can do. Because there is a divine orchestration that's going on here. There's a divine timing of things. I mean, could you imagine if the whole planet became aware instantly of the darkest things that take place on this planet? What would that do to their minds? It could send everybody into insanity, to anger, to revolt. I don't know. Or it could transcend. I don't know. So I do pray from the perspective of that we can change things on a collective level. We have the ability, we have the potential, we have the opportunity to change things and live from the highest potential, the highest good for all. So I'm not going to condemn Diddy in the way that most people would condemn him. I cannot wish him, that which he's done on others, because that is a never-ending cycle. That's just repeating the karma, just perpetuating the same behavior. And, when you wish and cause harm to another, you are doing that to self. Because if you understand we are all one, you cannot do something to somebody else and not, on some level of your being, not experience it. Yes, the majority of people do not have that understanding. And most people will not even how, where, they won't get it. I understand that, because you don't understand that you are not just this little body. You are a universe. You are a grand being. You exist on many levels and many realities. This is too big for the mind. We've been talking recently about we only use whatever it is, 9, 10, 11, 12% of our brain. What's going on with the rest of it? Could you imagine if we used 100% of our brain? Just ponder on that. Life would be very different. Very, very different. You would have full remembrance of who you are. And you would not have any need to cause harm to another without knowing that you're doing the harm to yourself. And with that, I'll leave this. It's a lot longer than I wanted to do, but it's okay. So I send out prayers and blessings to anyone that is closely involved in this world, or that world that Diddy has existed in and still exists in. And I send out prayers and blessings and healing to him. He can be a catalyst or he can be a destroyer. And he has operated in the latter for a long time. If he becomes the catalyst for change and for awakening, that's wonderful. But I don't know where it's going to go right now. Right now, I think we're kind of in which I see a kind of roller coaster ride. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. But at the same time, I do see more and more people coming, speaking out. But please come out and speak your truth of what happened, and not to just be on the, the salacious train, or the attack Diddy train, or the profit Diddy train. This is why I have a hard time with this too, because so many people are profiting on this. If you understood that the core of this world has been children in what they practice and what they do, that has to be revealed. It's the children. Yes, there's other people, there's men and there's women, but it's the children. That's what's hard to look past. That's what's hard to not be angry with and want to condemn with. I understand that. That's why I've kind of put this off, because, the little human in me wants to say, oh my God, he needs to be, and I kind of sometimes go there, when I hear some of his victims, or the people in his life and what he's done to them. I want to go there, but that's not who I am. It's not where I come from. It's not where I work from. So I have to go to the bigger picture, and I have to come from unbiased, non-judgment, and look for the potential that's there to create change. And elevate our consciousness. All right, I'm going to leave it at that, lovelies. And if you have any comments or anything you want to share, please do. Hopefully you'll like, share, subscribe. And I have a whole list more of people that I will do some more reviews on. Intuitive, it's not really a review, but an intuitive. This felt like more a review to me, because I'm kind of just going through the situation of everything that's being played out right now without getting too metaphysical or too esoteric, even though I know that's more of what is the reality. But to come more from a unbiased perspective. Please try not to hate and condemn anyone that has been or has participated in the dark reality of our current life. See their role as a role to change things, ultimately. All right, lovelies, take care, and I will be with you again soon.